Welcome to Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress podcast, where we hear stories from fellow seamstresses just like you. We're able to share their success stories. We learn from wedding industry pros for the best business tips, and we get to hear from fellow sewists and crafters to hopefully inspire our creativity and our love for sewing. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're a bridal seamstress, I'd also like to invite you to check out our Bridal Seamstress business membership. We have a community of women that can testify to the power of genuine connection, friendship, vulnerability, the power of our six-figure seamstress method, and a genuine connection found in a business mentorship like this. All right, let's dive into the episode. Welcome back to Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress podcast. And this episode could also be Secrets of a Bridal Shop Owner. Because that's what we're getting into. I'm here with Courtney Foreman. She is the owner of Weddings with Joy here in Olympia, Washington. I see so many Weddings with Joy brides, and they have the best experience at her store. And I was thinking back, Courtney and I, this is not our first podcast episode together. So Courtney was on season 1. And that's when, I think it was like literally my 3rd episode. I didn't know how to set things up. Do you remember that?
I do remember, and you were catering to a podcast for brides, like
yes,
shopping
spilling the tea for brides to be. Yes, that was that. So I think your topic was like, I don't even know, like how to shop for a wedding dress or something. I don't know, but thanks for being one of the first guests. Courtney has been on several podcasts since then. I feel like I started that trend, but it's okay. But today we're here to talk about a huge milestone that you recently hit. 10 years as owner of Weddings with Joy.
Yes.
Yay! And I don't know if it's an even bigger milestone. Courtney just bought a building and she's going to be moving her business into this new building. So there's like so much to talk about.
There is, yeah.
Yes. And so I'd love for this to encourage people who are just starting in their business and they're feeling like it's really impossible because we've all been there. Or I know there are some seamstresses who want to think about buying a building, and like that is a huge endeavor. So there's so many things to talk about, but I think that we should go back to when you didn't know what the heck you were doing and you just decided to like buy a bridal store.
Oh my gosh. I try to like block that out of my No, honestly.
Because Courtney did not wake like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to own a bridal store. It's like she was like in banking and then crossed over.
Yeah. So yeah, essentially it just came across my dad owned a local business, and he had somebody come in and was like, "Hey, do you know anybody that wants to buy my bridal shop?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. How much are you selling it for?" And that's basically
Lauren cutting
how,
deals.
how it came. Yep. And so it just happened so fast. Like within a month, I was the owner. It was wild.
I didn't know it was
Yep.
that fast of a turnaround. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
Yep, it was. And yeah, I had no, previous, business experience other than, obviously some college classes and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's like not the same. And, marketing has changed and evolved so much.
Significantly.
Yes.
In just 2 years, let alone like 15 years. Or how many years had you been removed from college at that point?
At that point, like 8.
Oh yeah, completely irrelevant.
Yeah, and now there's social media and all of that, which is a whole wild thing. But yeah, so everything I learned, I just like trial and error and tried to figure it out. And yeah, it was a while until I like found that there were like bridal shop Facebook groups, and like these were my people, right? I was like, oh my gosh, people actually are struggling with this as well. And so yeah. So
Okay,
I'm
so when you think about like the first couple of years, because let's first speak to the audience members who are like literally year 1 or year 2, and they're like, this sounds like a fun idea. So when did you hit your first wall of like, maybe this isn't fun? And you had to make the decision of like, either I'm in it or I'm going to peace out.
Oh gosh.
Which one? Pick just one.
Pretty quickly, honestly. So I was unaware of a lot of things, let's be honest, but I was very much unaware that you had to purchase wedding dresses from your designers twice a year. And how how that works is you go to bridal market, you get to look at all the pretty dresses. It's very, 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 very overwhelming and expensive. And, if you make one wrong choice about not getting the right dress and the right color or the right size, like that just sits on your racks for
Ever.
years,
Yeah.
for months, for years. Like, so it's a really, really big deal to like know your customer and things like that, and to know kind of the buying habits. And I didn't know any of that because I went into
Yes.
bridal market literally 12 days after taking over. So
Oh my goodness. Oh my
yeah, it
goodness.
was,
And then like you said,
it,
like you didn't have any support, like you didn't know anybody in that world. That is like
I
quite
had helped
terrifying.
like a handful of brides before I went. So I didn't have any real market research of what brides were looking for and things like that. So it was a really big chunk of money. And I don't want to say wasted because I got new dresses in, which is always exciting, but definitely it took a while to cycle through those dresses. So
Wow.
I remember when those were out of my life and I was like, oh my gosh, yay.
When the last one was out the door, you're like, phew,
Yes.
lesson
Oh,
learned. Okay, great.
exactly, exactly. So I would say definitely just do a little research, especially now with just how easy it is
Right.
to just pop on Facebook and to dabble into these groups. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel, that's for sure.
So then what was your first big win? Because okay, obviously market and now you're a pro going to market. Now you take your staff to market with you, which is a huge flex. So that's amazing. But like what was like your first big win where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can really really love this." We need those.
Yeah.
We need a couple of those moments too.
Absolutely. So in the beginning, like it was just me and like one part, a super part-time girl helping me out on Saturdays. And so I felt
It
like
was just
my
you there
biggest,
all week.
yes, all the time, constantly. It was really a lot. And then I just like felt like I was always busy, like trying to place orders or trying to do this or that and that. And then when a bride would walk in, I'd be like, I don't have time to help you. Or I wasn't like in the mindset of wanting to help because I didn't understand the importance of having an appointment only type of business. And
Yes,
of course, we
we
try
can
to,
relate to that. We can relate
yeah,
to that.
yes. And of course, we
Wow.
try and help walk ins and things like that. Absolutely. But it was it wasn't really honestly until COVID where I got really focused on what was important and how to make my business work for me, because I feel like sometimes when you purchase a business versus starting one from scratch, like you
Mm.
just kind of adapt all these things that has always been done that way,
Yes,
and
yes.
you don't really know what if it works any other way because it's just always been done that way.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah, so I
And
felt
I'm
like
sure
with
also
COVID,
you struggled with people coming in. Oh, my aunt bought their dress here. My sister got a dress. And then it's like, if you change things, that throws them off because they're expecting the same, completely same experience, same prices,
yeah.
same personalities. Yeah, that's a big
Yeah,
thing.
oh, prices. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't really until COVID where we could kind of take a step back, where obviously we weren't helping people in store for
hmm
10 weeks. And so we were
Oh,
able
what
to
did
kind
you do
of,
during COVID? Like, how did you sell dresses then? Did you?
yes, I did 5 virtual appointments and it was a whole nother level of crazy, but I did it because I had nothing else to do. And that's when I got really involved in coaching, is it during COVID. And so
Mm.
then that like mind boggled me because
Oh,
a lot
yes.
of coaches were doing like, I wouldn't say like free things, but they were definitely like helping stores navigate during, these unprecedented times. Um,
Yes. How to
ever
host
hear that?
A
Yeah.
Zoom appointment or whatever.
Exactly,
New
exactly. And so
skills.
then that really I was able to grow during that time.
hmm
And it spurred on so many different ideas on how once we get back into working in our boutiques again, like
hmm
we can do this and that and this. And then I brought on a new team member, which was really exciting when we reopened. And now she's my manager. She's been with me for over 5 years. So
hmm
it's just been so, so wonderful. So I think
hmm
that was kind of the catalyst that kind of got me going because the
Yes.
first 5 years were really, really a struggle. They
Well, I
were,
imagine
it
it was
wasn't
so
fun.
lonely. Yeah.
It
Yes. That
was.
must be so hard. And I think in retail too, because with alterations, the work, it like getting the stuff done is stressful because it's like work, sewing the dress, but we
Yeah.
don't have this
Well, and you
upfront
have
cost.
a strict timeline too that you're up
Yes,
against,
yeah.
you
But
know?
what we don't have is that stress of the money lost. And I forget that sometimes where it's like, yeah, when we start our businesses, or even if I guess we were to purchase one from someone else, it's like we don't need to go to market. We don't need to
Yeah.
buy a bunch of stuff up front. And it's like that's a
Yeah.
huge fear to get over. Like, whoa. When did you start making money? How many years in?
Oh,
Like making money, like good money. Like, oh, I'm paying myself.
oh, I'm actually enjoying my business. I would probably say honestly after COVID, like 2021.
Wow.
Yeah. COVID
Wow.
was not bad for us for bridal shops because it seemed like one of those things that now instead of this big 200-person wedding where they had a venue to pay for and catering to pay for, they could really focus on what was important to them, and they still wanted beautiful photos and a beautiful dress. So
Totally.
it
Totally.
it honestly, that was probably the year where things kind of shifted
Yeah,
in a very big
that's
way.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
me too. And I think for the same reason because they want to get the dress and the pictures and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
2020 was when I got the keys to my professional space.
Yes.
And like that it's
Yeah.
just funny how when I tell people that they're like, "Oh, during COVID," but it's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
when like we were bursting at the seams and in the house and Duran's like, "Get out of here." So, yeah. Like move these dresses
Yeah.
out. Wow, that is, I mean, I know it's so hard for you, but that's so encouraging to hear that staying consistent and like the tenacity it does pay off. And so your
Yes.
consistency, what would you say would be the things, because we like to say within the membership is the things that you're consistent in are the things that you're going to see growth in. You know what I mean? Like that
Oh,
you
yeah.
like so do you feel like the consistency was just in showing up every day, or when you started becoming consistent with like your coaching or accountability, or what was the consistency, if we're using that word,
Yeah.
where did you like put that or focus that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely like I now have a manager, like I said, for the last couple of years. And so I I have it was kind of a tough transition in the fact that like because I was always there for
Yes.
like 7 years straight, that what did I do?
Right.
Now what do I do? And so now I can really kind of focus more on the business versus being in it every day. But I
Yeah.
definitely like still love to know like when I'm ordering the dress, like, oh my gosh, like that dress belongs to this sweet bride and this was her story. And, so I still love to be involved in that. But I just think being consistent in the fact that, I don't know, like just having weekly conversations with my team
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
how still being very much like in it with them, and because I never want them to feel like, oh, like because she doesn't help brides anymore, or because I rarely
Right.
do, which
Yeah.
is wonderful. I do love our brides, but it's also I have a team to help me with them.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
and so just kind of like being consistent in the things that you're really good at too, I think,
Oh, that is so
and kind of
good.
delegate other things to other people, especially if you have a team. But if you don't, if you're a one woman show, I totally get that too. There are so many things that you can use to automate your business that doesn't revolve and sure, it takes a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of time getting it set up and, making sure you're, got the right things in place. But yeah, there's so many things out there that you don't have to be the one answering every phone call, answering
Yes.
every email.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yeah. It sounds like when you were kind of consistent in taking a step back and being intentional about who's doing what and what you're doing, that's when things started like
yeah,
freeing up. Yeah. And even we talk about that a lot in SBS where it's like, we have some members who are still like, they really like the control of literally booking an appointment by hand in their like right
yeah,
their book because they're like, well, I'm afraid of like if somebody uses the booking link and then it doesn't work and da da da. And it's like that control or like and it's I get it because like heaven forbid you double book or something and you like to know that like your hands are in everything, but
Yeah.
when you are able
Oh,
to
I
set
get
that,
that too.
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you have to tell a bride, like, oh my gosh, we have to reschedule you, like it really can derail their whole experience and the start of working
Yeah.
with you. And so
Yes.
I could
Yeah.
definitely see that.
Yeah. And there are, that's one of so many things that it's like we feel like
Yes.
we have to be the one to do it. But like you said, even if you don't have a team, there are ways to automate or there are ways to just simplify. But you do have to get to a point where you're willing to step back and look at it and like not be in the weeds. Because I
Yes.
think that's how 10 years go by and like nothing
Yeah.
changes. And like you're still just
Correct.
saying the same thing over and over.
Yes.
Ugh.
And change is so good, and I feel like so many people are afraid of it. And it really is. It can be so so fresh
Yes.
and a nice restart to something for the next chapter.
Yes. And I think it's been cool from my perspective to see so many things at Weddings with Joy just like totally blossom. And like, I look at you and your dream team. Like, you have such a great team. You know what I mean?
Thank
Like,
you.
Kristen is awesome. And like, your stylists are just on it. And they're so locked in with your vision. I think because you have such a strong, like, this is exactly what I want my brides to experience. Like, this is what I want Weddings with Joy to represent. And your team, like, latches onto that. So, and that's not easy. It's not easy to, like, build that or, like, have the right people. And
Oh, it is the absolute hardest thing.
yeah, yes, I'm sure. And so, as you know, like I'm still new to this game, but there are women in my membership where it's like they are in the middle of that struggle of like, okay, I just trained somebody and then they quit after 4 months, or like we're just not jiving. So, can you speak to that portion of your growth is like getting the team that's locked in,
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
having patience along the way?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Patience. That's a good one. I, gosh, that's a tough one. So it wasn't really until, again, COVID, and I was like kind of locked in on this training and things like that, because
Hmm.
I didn't really understand that that's I didn't understand that how I wanted my brides to feel really
Yeah. Hmm.
I until other people would be helping brides, like my part-time girls or something, and they would say something, and I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. That didn't sound
Hmm.
good. That didn't sound how I want them to feel. And so it
Yeah.
was
But
really
you
nice
didn't
to
know
kind of
beforehand that they would be saying that. So like how do you
correct.
literally put words in their mouth? I feel like I know where this is going.
Yes. And so now, like, we really do like embrace in the Do Speak Bride training. Like,
Hmm.
Wendy is incredible with stylists, and it's really like a mindset that you really have to kind of adapt.
Yes.
And my girls do that, and it works, and it's working. And they really do believe in celebrating these life moments, with because this isn't just sales. This is definitely connection, connection,
Yes.
connection.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, obviously, the goal is for her to find her wedding dress, right?
Yeah.
But it really is like a framework, and
Hmm.
it's been it's been a game changer for us. So that was something that we started adapting it during the COVID time, and now that's
Hmm.
just our culture,
Yeah.
how we set the tone for all new employees, and that they have to go through this really extensive training. And it's almost easier if they don't have bridal experience, because then they could like lean into their old ways, where we
Yes.
want to
Yeah.
have a different path for them. So
Yeah.
it's been good. But yeah, I mean, it definitely does take all personality types, to reach all brides. And so we all
Oh,
aren't
that's a really good
just the
point. Like
same.
you probably want to have like just little Courtneys running around. That's what I would want. Like like
No, I
please,
don't.
you know what I mean? Like, this is how I would do it. This is how I would approach this conversation. So, this is what I
Yeah,
want you to sound like. And you can't do that. Like, and like you said, there's like, you're not going to be, I mean, no offense, you're not going to be the perfect fit for everybody that walks in your door, but like, they might
totally.
totally latch on to like another of your team members. And that has to take a
Yes.
lot of like, whew, like, take a deep breath
Yes.
and let go, you know? Ooh.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. absolutely. Like you have to have empathy and and then there's like so much logic that goes into it and it's so emotional. And so just finding the right team that balances everybody. I think it's been a journey, but we've gotten there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just really celebrating that too, because we don't want, 5 little Courtneys running around. Oh God.
That is actually a really scary visual, but
it kind of is. I kind of think of AI like woo woo woo. Oh gosh.
It's so would okay for people who don't have Do You Speak Bride, or for more
Yeah.
importantly, I guess for listeners who are seamstresses and they're like, that doesn't necessarily apply to me because I don't sell dresses. Would you say
Right.
that even just like having, and I'm kind of sensing a theme where it's like this intentional, it just intention and look, taking a step back and thinking about how you want this to look. Would you suggest even like a handbook, or what could like sewing bosses use for their alterations team?
Yeah, I think definitely I think consistency is important too,
Hmm.
right? And so that's the thing that I like love is that me and my team, we all say the same thing. And
Hmm.
so when a bride says something that's not what we say, I'm like, oh wow, what happened? I'm like, did she just mishear us? Like, where did that happen? And so
Yeah.
I think definitely having a handbook of like the way that you would
Hmm.
approach the situation, the way that you would approach the situation, and then, like making sure, I don't know, like making sure that the hem, is
I like how you're
measured
pointing to your
properly.
shoulders when you're saying hem. The
I
hem.
was, I was gonna say straps, but hem came out, whatever.
Same.
Same. Like your hem, that you measure it all the same. And so that
Right,
way there
right.
is that consistency, especially if you are growing your team and, you want to make sure that it has like your standard on it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And we even talk about this with when we're, if it is just a solo show, when we're communicating with brides, communicating up front, or like getting ahead of the issue before you're confronted with it is so important. And so, like, if you are growing a team, even if
Yes.
you're just training one person, getting ahead of it before a scenario comes up and like, okay, so this is how we like, this is, our culture, this is how we communicate, whatever, so that
Yep.
and I imagine it takes a lot more time up front, but it's saving you such a headache down the road or whatever. So yeah, that's been really
Exactly.
cool. That's been really cool to see the team come together and it just be such a great, yeah. And Courtney like takes her, for those of you who don't know, she brings her team to like resorts and stuff and like they do like Christmas parties and I'm like, I want to work there. There's a lot of
I
fun
know.
and there's a lot of like relationship building, which is super cool.
They work really hard and they
Yeah.
they really do. The way that they care for our brides is like so unreal. And so I just want them to know how much I appreciate them because I wouldn't be able to, step back and work on my business if I was more inundated in the business.
Yes,
And
yeah.
they take that on, so it's really, really wonderful.
Yeah. So congrats on that. Well,
Thanks.
let's move on to the building, shall we?
Yes. Yes.
So the
Let's
building
do
is very
it.
exciting. I was privileged enough to get a tour when it was not cute, and I'm like, okay, she has a vision, and the vision's already coming together. So
Yeah.
let's like, how do you even want to start this part of the conversation? What made you want to buy a building?
Okay, so this was kind of, again, I have a business coach, and this is something that we have kind of talked about for the last like few years. And like, kind of what does a retirement plan look like for me? What does getting out of my business look like for me? Like, what's kind of the end game? And I don't really
Oh,
know
oof,
yet.
yeah.
I'm so young that it's hard to
Yeah,
as I
exactly.
have a birthday coming up here next week. But it's like one of those things that like I don't really know. And I Weddings with Joy has always been in this same location
It's
for
a
43 years.
beautiful building with beautiful windows. I mean, it's very charming.
Windows. It is, I know.
Those dang windows.
It is a very, very cute little place. And
Mhm.
so, when I took over the business, I asked if the building would be for sale, and she said no at that time. And so she came to me and asked if I would be interested in buying it. And that, that kind of little sprinkle in my head, from my business coach a couple years ago, I kind of looked at it and, figured it out and talked about it with my husband because it's a big investment, and it's something for our future and stuff like that. So we talked about it, and we decided that we would try and purchase it, knowing that we wouldn't really be able to grow it much more than what it is because of just the space and the layout.
Yep.
And so but the fact that it had been in this location all these years was a real like strong argument to keep it. So we ended up going and trying to pursue that, but the bank and like the appraisal just didn't kind of match with what she was wanting for it. And so unfortunately she wasn't willing to negotiate anything. And, then we would have had to put up much more money to make up the difference. And so we just decided to look for something else. And like, maybe that wasn't
also
it.
Pause and think about how huge, because that potentially could have been so crushing. And like, okay, now what? Like that is a really, because when you are in the waiting, when you're at that process where you're getting the appraisal, your heart's in it. You know what I mean? Like you are like, okay, let's do it. And I can imagine this and and this will change. And then for that to not go through, like, so first kudos goes to you for just like moving forward and not just
and me and my husband both said like, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And so I was very not trying to move in and renovate and change anything yet until it was official, because I have definitely, in the house hunting process, I had done that previously. And I actually still think about that house on Lemon Road 5 years later, but it's okay. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things where I was just very much like even keeled about it. And it is what it is. And so, anyways, then we started looking at other properties. And one of my main things was that I really wanted a separate entrance because I would love to have a full menswear shop. And guys just don't want to see brides trying on dresses.
Right.
Like
and some brides don't want that either. They don't want an audience.
Correct.
Dudes traipsing around. Yeah. No.
Exactly. And so my goal would be to have like a full, like separate entrance for them. And this has that. And so I'm like, I almost felt like it was just like so serendipitous. And I was like, oh God, this is a very ugly building. It needs a lot of work. It needs like walls removed. Like it's
paint.
Like a whole thing. Oh, paint.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Sometimes you're like, what drugs are people on when they're choosing paint colors?
Oh my God. Yeah. And I just got done painting the whole inside and outside of the building, like by hand, me personally, with my parents. So I'm really in it.
Business route. Exactly.
Yeah. When we say this is a family business, we really mean it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So your anticipated opening is like next month. Ish.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is very crazy. And I will say the location is so beautiful. So she's now with some other businesses that have like really beautiful looking buildings too. Like it's nice and clean, like the landscaping's great. She has like a big parking lot. Even like
lots
the
of parking
sidewalk in front of you has like the cute little I mean, it's just a really beautiful location. So I'm very excited for that expansion.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's really nice too, because the other standalone buildings that are nearby, I mean, they all own and operate their businesses as well. And so they really care about how it looks.
Yeah, that's huge.
And that really makes a difference. That really makes a difference. So it'll be great.
Okay. So I feel like those are all the questions, like, but like interview stuff. I want to hear like, okay, 10 years in review. Let's transition to that. You don't need to obviously give names, but can you think of like the worst bride in 10 years? You're like, I can think of a few worst brides.
I'm just thinking of this mom that was like slamming doors because she didn't want oh my God. I don't even remember her name, but she was crazy. And I remember just being in shock. Like, I don't even know how to handle this.
What doors was she slamming? Like the front door? All of them.
Yes, in the dressing room door and any door she could find. She was awful, awful.
Any door she could find. What was she mad about? Just the price of things?
No, she was mad that they had a whole day planned and her daughter wanted to say yes to the dress.
Oh, you should have opened with that. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
goodness.
I could restart. Do you want me to do that?
No, it's fine. The anticipation
Okay.
was worth it. Why was she slamming the doors? That is nuts. Oh, that's so sad.
It really was. And it just left the bride in tears and the maid of honor in tears. And I was completely dumbfounded. And I had only had my business for like a year and a half or 2 years at this point. So I didn't even know how, like, I was like in disbelief. Like, I didn't
Probably
even
like
know
crying
how
with the
to,
bride. Yes.
I was like, I really wish I would have like kicked the mom out of the store. Like, I feel like now I have like the
Yes.
kahunas to be able to do something like
Yes.
that. But at
Yeah.
the beginning, I was like,
Yeah.
I just was so shocked that a mom could do that to her daughter. Sad.
Wow. Yeah. That's another thing of working with human beings, like working with the
Yeah.
public that aren't like your friends, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is how some people behave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. It is very interesting. Yeah. Families are very
Yes.
convoluted, aren't
Yeah,
they?
and we see that. Yeah, in fittings too, where it's like, or I'll have a bride come in with her mom or her sister or something, and it's like there's a certain vibe, and then she'll come to her second fitting alone, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, you're a different person. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is delightful, and she's so easy, and her personality comes out, and it's like, oof. Do you have what was your biggest lesson learned through a client, maybe? Like, oh, I'm gonna change my contract for, well, I'm sure there are a lot of contract changes.
We do. Yeah, we did have during COVID, we definitely had to add some new things into our contract for sure.
hmm
Yeah, it's just so funny how you think that you've got it figured out and then something happens and you're like, huh, that really,
How did she slip through? Yes.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think my biggest lesson, honestly, was just going to that first market buy, overbuying, buying, and not
Oh.
knowing what I was doing.
You're like, I'm on say yes to the dress.
Totally. And yeah, and it was a life lesson, that's for
Okay.
sure.
We'll leave it at that. Let's talk about some good moments. Do you have like a
Yeah, there's
favorite? Do you have like I don't know, favorite bride or favorite say yes moment?
honestly, like I still like literally tear up with their say yes moments. Like it is just so beautiful. Like just the relationships that these brides have with who they bring is just really sweet. And
hmm
I don't know. There's just so many good ones, and it's not something too that like you do every day. And like we get the privilege of like living it every day. So
Yes,
it
yes.
really is such a treat. And I think like we had a bride come in earlier this year and she had shared with me that her mother was like sick and this, that, and the other. And come to find out, she ended up passing away, obviously before the wedding and stuff. And
hmm
so it's like her say yes to the dress, like moment and
hmm
photos and experience. Like she got to be, have that with her mom.
Yeah,
And, that was like their last like photo together, like
yeah.
their last like group
Event
great
together. Yeah.
memory, and it's like that is such a cool thing to think about, like that we really are celebrating life moments
Yes, yeah.
and
And it really
really,
helps you like keep a good perspective on things.
yeah,
Like you said, we do this every day. So we're like around wedding
yeah,
dresses, wedding details, whatever, but
yeah.
it is such a huge life milestone
Mhm.
like that we're a part of. And it's so good to like stay in tune with those kind of things of like, okay, yes, I mean, when I tell people that I work with brides and they're like, oh, bridezillas, and I'm like, yeah, I can literally count on one
Every time.
like
Yeah,
of the hundreds of brides I've worked with, it's like maybe 4 or 5,
totally. Yep,
completely
same.
outnumbers. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, no, brides are actually the best.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually very fun. It's like fun to go to work. What has
Yeah.
been do you have something that like you're most proud of yourself, which is probably hard for you to think about, but like, wow, I'm so proud that like I either accomplish this because we look at like, oh my gosh, you bought a building. That's amazing. But you may have
Yeah.
a win that is like, it looks kind of insignificant on the outside, but to you it was such a huge deal. Or
Mhm.
like what kind of stuff comes to mind when I ask that?
Yeah. So probably going back to like a few years ago when uh, Kristen was one of my employees and she was just like, so what would it look like if like I maybe like managed the shop? And I'm like, manage, but who would you manage? Like we don't really have a big team, like we don't really, and she just kind of more so meant like manage the day to day, the correspondence, the customer issues,
Hmm.
the if we have any,
Right, right, right. She's so
you
good at
know,
that too.
yeah, yeah. And just like, processing, the orders and receiving the boxes and things like that. And I was just like, wow, like these are all things I do. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, okay. Like, so I think just kind of finding that person that really cares because yeah, of course you could hire anybody, but do they really genuinely care about you and your business and
Mm-hmm.
how they, perceive or how they, I mean, they're an extension of you, it's essentially,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I just think having her has been such a saving grace, I would say. And then the fact that like I get to like I don't want to say sleep in because I'm still up at 7 in the morning, but it's like I get to have these slower mornings with my
Hmm.
dogs. And like truly, my dogs are like my whole life and my whole
Truly.
personality.
Truly.
And so just to have like my mornings with them and get to like take them on walks and play in the backyard
Yeah.
with them, like it's
Yeah.
just like those little things that literally mean the most.
Because you
So
couldn't do that when you first bought the business. And
no,
you probably couldn't
no,
even dream of that. And you're like, what did I get stuck in? And then for you to be able to let
correct.
go and honestly let somebody who is so good at those things. And I know
Yeah.
I've heard stories where it's like, okay, this situation with a client, but I know she's got it handled. And like
Mhm.
to have that trust that
Yeah.
is going to get handled and she gets to be the first responder.
Yeah.
And that's her. And also, that's really cool that she had it in her to be like, I can do this. And like, would you consider me? Because you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have if she didn't say that. And like,
Correct. I would have
your
never,
life
I mean, I
changed.
don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely like a learning curve because it was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Am I micromanaging her?
Yeah.
Like, is she, like, no, Courtney, she's got it. So there was definitely a learning curve. It wasn't
Yeah.
all easy and simple and just here you go. But
Right.
yeah, we worked through it. And I think I mean, I feel like she's happy with it.
Yeah. Here's open. Maybe she'll listen. She'll be like, actually, that was
Actually, we need to
no.
talk.
Yeah. Okay, any final? This was just so good because
Yeah.
it's really exciting to think about how things do. You can feel so overwhelmed in the moment. Like you can feel like nothing's going
Mhm.
to change and like, what have I done? And why did I start a business when it's so hard? Like, why do people say that business owning is like exciting? And then they can hear this where it's like things do change and it's not going to feel like this forever, but
Mhm.
there are like a lot of little nuggets that people can just pick up through listening, but there
Yeah.
any specific words of wisdom that you'd be like, you know what, if this is your first or second year, if this is like, oh, I know. What would you tell the pre-COVID Courtney?
Oh, the pre-COVID Courtney. Well, mm, oh gosh, I don't even know. Keep going. It's gonna get better. It's gonna
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why didn't you invest in coaching beforehand? Like, why did you not even know this existed?
Oh, yes.
Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But I think too, it's just so important that you keep a positive mindset even in the hard times because
Hmm.
it's so easy like when we have to say yes to the dress moments and yes 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 and then you don't get all the yeses, like you have to
Hmm.
still maintain positivity and excitement
Hmm.
and even when it's a trying time. So I think just like really just being even keeled through all the highs is really
Yeah.
important as the lows.
Yes.
It's not going to be like that forever. Like it's so cyclical. So,
Right. Just like
yes,
our months.
exactly. Correct. Isn't that
There's
fun?
some things I cannot do certain times of the month. It's like, no.
Yay,
Or there's
women.
that quote where it's like, don't doubt in faith. No, don't dig up in doubt what you planted in faith or something like that. And it's like, when
Exactly.
you have those rough days and then you just question everything and it's like, what
Yeah.
am I doing? I'm going to quit this. I'm going to pull the plug on this or whatever. And it's like, no, you have to trust like the good version of yourself, like the normal,
Yeah.
healthy, sane version of yourself that decided to do this thing or whatever,
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. That's so exciting. Okay, so tell us when you're do you even have an anticipated opening date or how can we start stalking you?
Yes. Oh my
And
gosh.
what do we
Well,
have to stock? Ooh.
you can follow along at Weddings with Joy. And I'm doing little Sunday sneak peeks on Instagram stories about the new building. And I have a little tab on there. So it's been so fun to watch the little transformation come to light. But yeah, we are we're in it. Like I feel like the floors are going to be in very, very soon.
Oh,
And
I
once
can't wait.
that gets in, oh my goodness, I'm going to feel
Yes.
like we can open immediately, but I know we
Yeah.
can't.
So excited.
Yes,
So
yes.
excited.
Yep. I don't have an exact date yet, but it's going to be for sure sometime in November.
Okay.
So,
Very
yep,
cool.
yep. I'm
Are you
sure I'll
gonna
be
have like a
spending things.
party? Because Courtney just had a 10-year anniversary Joyful Jubilee, which was so fun. So are you even gonna do like a grand opening party? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, this has been very overwhelming, all of this happening.
So party
So, and
planning is on the back burner.
yes, I probably will. Like the first quarter is always so busy for bridal shops.
Mhm.
And so I'm already kind of overwhelmed with how busy we're going to be for that. And then like
So
wedding
exciting.
shows and all of that. But I know that that's like the time of year that wedding, other wedding pros are not busy.
Hmm.
So I'm sure we'll do something fun in January or
Yeah.
February,
No,
sometime in
I
December
think
and
I
fun to
think
celebrate.
literally day one or the night before you open, just have your nearest and dearest, including me and your staff, and just have a toast. Like
Yeah.
just do something super simple. Like I think it's so like you need to do something to be like we got here. Like you just need to have a
Yeah.
10-minute, you don't need to cater it, you don't need to get dressed up, but just like,
Yeah.
have a little toast and let
Just
people
have a
toast
moment.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
Like 10
Yeah.
people in there. 11.
That'd be cute. I love it. I love
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay, so
thank
I'll
you for
plan it.
that.
That's great. I'll text Kristen. No.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. I know. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm already getting exhausted thinking about moving,
I know. And Courtney and I
packing
are going
up.
to a wedding MBA together.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I
I'm pumped.
know that'll be here before we know it too.
I know, like literally. I know, Mike. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And what's great about Courtney is I didn't even have to worry about you asking to share a hotel room with me.
Uh,
So no, that's never happening.
no, we just
Either
need
of
our
us,
alone time.
or
We need
either
our
of
alone
us
time.
were like, no. Because that's the part that stresses me out about like any kind of trips or things. It's like I cannot do that. I cannot do that. And I feel like if you know me, and also if you know you, like let's get real. No. So it's gonna be great, but we'll be neighbors, but
Oh,
it's
it's going
different
to be so
everything.
fun. Looking forward to it. I haven't
Mhm.
been to wedding MBA in a long time. Like probably that was the first thing I had ever done.
Oh my gosh.
I
Talk
like
about
got a
overwhelming.
pamphlet in
Oh
the
my
mail. I
word.
got like something in the mail being like, "What? Oh my God, there's a wedding education?
You got
I
something in the
need to go
mail?
to this." Oh yeah.
Like a postcard or something?
Yes,
Or like your
yes.
mailbox. Wow. Wow.
That was
Times have
awesome.
changed. That was also
Yes.
pre-COVID. Jeez.
Yes, it was.
Okay, well, thank
Yes.
you for your time. I cannot wait for this to drop. You guys know where to find Courtney, and then if you feel sad about yourself, just hit her up and
Oh
she'll share
gosh.
a good
You
story.
can do it, ladies. So exciting.
Okay, thanks, Courtney. Yay.